In this video we will explain Mach 3 program or engraving machine program. When we run the program, a part appears called the code page, in which the drawing code appears. This button loads the drawing, where we choose the drawing from computer, to be run on the machine. This button is the close drawing button, which downloaded to the program. This button is the recent drawings button, where we choose from the recent drawings that was run on program before. This button is the cup fix button, or the vacuum motor start button. To fix the cups for easy engraving, we press it to activate the suction. Either this button is a cooling button, or a water button. We turn on the pump by pressing this button. This button turns on the engraving motor. These three keys we use when operating manually. Start button is the one that turns on the machine, or the code is uploaded to the program automatically. When we run the code or drawing, we press the start button. This button is a feed hold button. It stops the machine at a certain point, keeping the engraving motors running. To stop the whole machine, press the stop button. This button stops the engraving motors, water and vacuum. The restart engraving button restarts the code from the beginning. For example, when running, then I pressed feed hold and then stop. If you want to start the drawing or code again, press on the restart engraving button. The step running button runs the code step by step, as shown. It runs the code step by step. This is the keyboard on/off button that controls whether it is on or off. For controlling the machine through the keyboard, the keyboard is activated and the machine is moved up or down, back or forward. Manual input button, the code is entered manually. This is for the maintenance engineer, and not a tool for the user. Next, the input signal current state, it has no use here. Sensor. This is the sensor lamp when the machine reaches the sensor. Then this lamp lights up. When you press the emergency key, this light lights up. This button is the reset button. When running the program from first time, or when the machine reaches the sensor, you must press the reset button for all icons to activate. This button converts the program interface change to English and vice versa. As for the engraving button and the panto button, engraving button when using the engraving machine. As for the panto button, when using the needle machine or the pantograph machine, and the difference between them, there is water in the engraving interface. Either in panto interface there is no water. In the pantograph machine, this button is the y-axis. Y-axis value change by raising the machine up or down. Z-axis value change when the machine moves forward and backward. A-axis angle value change when the machine is moved to the right or to the left. The ref all home button, it returns to 0 for all axes. It must be pressed when running the machine for the first time. When pressed like this, the value of all axes will be 0. After that, the machine is moved up and then back. As for these keys, it returns to the 0 point for each axis separately. As for these three keys, the first key is to offline. It disconnects the program from the machine. then the machine does not receive any signal from the program. As for the machine coords button, it gives you specific coordinates for the machine. As for the soft limit button, the program is stopped at a certain point that is specified in the program. These three buttons have no use for operation. As for the time simulation button, it gives you an expected time to run the drawing or code. The expected time to run the drawing is approximately 10 minutes and 42 seconds. The current time is the time that the machine records during operation. Note here, when starting the machine, the counter starts counting when turned on. These buttons also have no use in engraving. This button is the reload drawing button. This window displays the drawing that will be engraved on the machine, and make sure that this drawing is to be run on the machine. This is the display mode button. It gives you the dimensions of the machine on the screen. As for this jog follow button, the location of the engraving is traced in the drawing. These three buttons also have no use in operation.